This is the Fant4sy podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Fant4sy podcast. We've got Landon,
Andrew,
and that's it. Sadly, Doug and Ford could not join us tonight due to unforeseen circumstances. Everyone's had a wacky schedule this week due to the tornado that hit Little Rock and other areas, which is very sad. Hopefully not any other comes anytime soon. But let's get to some good news. Sports are going well right now, I guess you'd say. Just wrapped up the college basketball tournament, and I'm home right now. I just wanted to rep the Troy Polamalu hat wig with the fat head in the back. I just had to show it out real quick.
Oh, Troy.
Wore that for Halloween in about 2014, maybe. I don't know.
It's a long time ago.
But yeah, good times. We'll get straight into it. First, we can speak on the NCAA tournament. What happened there? I mean, UConn just it was theirs, man. I mean, really, not much else to say. They really defeated every opponent by a good margin, and we talked about it earlier at some point, and they actually beat every single team by at least 13 points. And I mean, that's just crazy, you know?
Unheard of. Definitely unheard of. UConn, especially being a team that wasn't in the AP preseason top 25, they were not expected to win a national championship. I feel like that kind of goes without saying. But their team was talented. They were better than last year. And last year they were pretty good. And they're, I think back in 2020, their head coach said it was awesome post-game interview. And they lost in the tournament in I think was it 2019? Because there was no 2020 tournament. He said, they better beat us now. He said, they better beat us now because we're going to be on top of the college basketball world here soon. 3 years later, which is about how long it takes to rebuild a program, it's exactly what happened. And like you said, they defeated every team by 13 plus in the tournament. They had a dominant year, beat a lot of good opponents. They were just better. Simple, plain and simple. One of the best seasons of all time for any team. And I'm not sure what their season looks like next year. I'm not sure who returns, who doesn't.
Yeah. But
they have the experience now, and that matters a lot, especially for a head coach. And so I'm definitely happy for them. They deserved it, especially since they beat Arkansas. Now we can say Arkansas lost to the eventual champions, so it makes our run look not as bad. And when the statistics show how good Eric Musselman was, we can have that asterisk now. We made the Sweet 16, not the Elite 8, but it's because we ran into the eventual champions. So, great season from them.
Yeah, they were a force to be reckoned with, to say the least, man. I mean, 13 at least every game, that's just crazy. I mean, that sounds like
against good teams, against like Gonzaga and Arkansas and Miami. Like that's crazy.
Even in the championship,
that's seriously unheard of.
Even in the championship, they won by 17. You know, it's just it's crazy. But yeah, like you said,
and I mean, people will say that San Diego State shouldn't have been in the championship game, and they're wrong because one, that's why they do a tournament the way they do it. Two, they're a good team. San Diego State was a great team all year long. Arkansas actually beat them this year, and the Maui Invitational, and they just had all the recipes for a good college basketball team. They had a solid big guy. They had great guards. They had a great veteran head coach. And so they definitely deserve to be there. And them losing by, 14, whatever it was, 17, is not because they were bad. It's just because UConn was that good.
Yeah. Considering
they beat Gonzaga by 28 and Arkansas by 20-something. This is not a bad tournament, bad championship or anything. This is just a dominant team, and every once in a while we get one of those, and it really it's surprising when the dominant team isn't a 1 or a 2 seed.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they were a 4 seed in the tournament, which means they had them what, lower than 8th in the tournament.
Yeah.
Lower than 12th
Yeah,
in
maybe
the
more
tournament.
than that. Yeah.
So,
Crazy.
and they were top 5 in Ken Palm this year,
Mhm.
and they somehow were a 4 seed. Crazy. They honestly might have made it easier for them, but it didn't really matter because they still went through tough competition.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. I mean,
heck of a year for them.
they played. There's no excuses on who they played. I mean, they played the guys that
No.
beat the teams that they were supposed to play. They beat them. So.
Right.
I mean, it was really, really cool to see, honestly, them just shooting threes like it was. I mean, they're shot at least, I'm sure, 30% from three, no lower than 30% every game from three. Like,
Right.
they were just knocked down, lights out from three, and played good defense. And, I mean, there's not much else you need to do when you're knocking down threes and playing good defense to win a basketball game. There's not much can go wrong when you're doing those two things, so.
And that was their problem the past few years. They couldn't win. They couldn't get over the hump because they didn't have shooters.
Yeah.
And so they got shooters, and that's all it took. They had the best big man in the tournament this year, and it just the rest of the team played so well, including their star going out with the flu in the Final Four. Still balled out. Just crazy, man. It's what they accomplished this year. We may not see for a long time.
Yeah, man. Speaking of brackets, for all the guys who had even close to good brackets, props to them. I mean, just the Final Four was, what were the seeds? 4, 5.
It's 4, 5, 9, and 3, or was it 5? Was Miami at 5? I can't remember what Miami was.
They were 5. UConn
Yeah,
was
they were 5.
4.
Yeah, it was 4, 5. Florida Atlantic was
FAU was
9. San Diego
9.
State. San Diego State was 5.
Yes, they were 5. Yeah.
A
So
lot of
5,
5
5,
seeds.
9, 4. It's pretty crazy Final Four based on seeding.
Yep.
Haven't seen that in a very long time, if ever.
Shows you there's more competition coming along. It's not just going to be the
Yeah.
dominant teams every year. So it's good
Yeah.
to see Kentucky play bad, poorly, to their standards, and Duke play poorly. I mean, again, to their standards.
Yeah.
Kansas went out. Like, all these highly touted teams go out early, and I think that says a lot about college basketball. This is literally why they do the tournament the way they do it. This is why there's
Yeah.
such a big field and there's so many games, because it really puts teams to the test. So, and Baylor, I mean, and Houston.
Yeah.
I think it's just all the good teams. I just feel like they just couldn't quite make it this year, and North Carolina didn't even make the tournament this year.
I was about to speak on that, actually, literally.
Yeah.
I was about to say, how do you go from winning it to, or getting where they
Well,
did?
they didn't win it.
Yeah,
They went to
where
the
they
championship,
did,
yeah.
and not making it to the even tournament the next year. That's just
Yeah. It's
crazy.
it's weird. It's just because how college basketball works.
Yeah.
It's you lose Roy Williams,
Mhm.
and then you have the year of the new coach, and then the year after. So the year of the new coach, forget his name. He was their assistant for a long time. The year you get your new coach in, you still have some of the recruits that Roy Williams got, but the year after that you don't. So
Yeah.
a lot of the recruits that he hasn't quite built up that program yet. A lot of people are scared of when coaches leave, and maybe that's why Duke is slipping a little bit too. And maybe next year, who knows? But I mean, not only were they in the championship game last year, they were the number 1 ranked team in the preseason poll, which doesn't account for the previous year. That only accounts for the year ahead of them. And so the number 1 team in the preseason poll didn't even make the NCAA tournament. UConn was not in the top 25, and they won the whole thing.
It's crazy how that
I mean,
works.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking on the UConn guys, whether or not they'll have who back next year. speak on Arkansas, we're losing Nick, losing Devo, getting Brazil back from his injury, which is very, very nice for the Hogs. We need a big man like him back. So it's going to be amazing to have him back, and we'll see what we do with the team. I'm sure Ricky's going to be gone too, right?
Yeah, he already declared for the draft. Yeah,
and then Anthony Black will stay, right? Another year at least.
No,
he's gone too.
Anthony Black's gone. He's going to the league. Yeah.
Oh, yep, he's gone too. That's 4. What are the Mitchell twins doing? Is their basketball career over? How old are they?
I don't know if they're seniors or not. I don't think they are. I'm not sure. Honestly, they're so new to the team. I don't know much about them. I think they might be juniors.
Yeah.
But I can run down a few things for you. So Nick is gone. Ricky is gone. And then who else is gone?
Devo.
Devo might not be. Devo is doing the Jalen Williams thing.
Yeah, he's quite. Yeah.
And it happens a lot where you enter the NBA draft, but you still maintain eligibility. I personally think that Devo won't even because he'll reach out to teams and agents and see what his stock looks like.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be great. He's not NBA ready yet. He needs to develop his shot. He needs to get stronger. So I think he will end up returning, actually, if I had to guess.
Okay.
I also thought Jalen Williams would return. Obviously, he didn't. But looking back, it actually makes sense. And looking at him now, it makes a lot of sense. He was more NBA ready than Devo is now.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think Devo makes it. I think he would be much better off getting better for another year. And I think he could end up being a first-round pick. I don't even think he's a first-round pick this year, to be honest. If he were to go, I think and most second-round picks don't last longer than 2 years in the NBA. So I think he'd be making a mistake going to the NBA this year. So he'll come back. Jordan Walsh comes back this year too, which is huge. He needs it, and we need it. To have one of those guys out of that class stay, it'll be great for us.
He does need it too.
I don't know. I don't know what the news is on Khalil Ware. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about that lately, but I know Arkansas was trying to pursue him. I don't know if he's decided something yet. I've been out of the loop on that, but I know that would be a big asset for us, just have a big guy with Brazil. And I think, we did just get we got a transfer. We got a guard from Washington who plays a lot like Anthony Black did. He's more athletic though, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. I'm pretty sure he's only a sophomore, and so he'll have his junior and senior year with us. That'll be good because he's shown signs of greatness. I say greatness. He's shown signs of being a very solid player at Washington. I think he averaged about 10 a game, but I think he's still improving. And with our coaching staff, everybody improves. So. Yeah, next year is looking interesting. I'm not sure who else we get. I know we're going to be working the transfer portal some more and just seeing what's out there. But I think I still have optimism. I'm still excited about next year. I don't think it's over. I think as long as Musselman's our coach, or the recruiting will kind of speak for itself, and I think we'll stay in contention a long time. I think. We are ranked 21 in Andy Katz's rankings for next year, and that means nothing, obviously, until we figure out where the heck everybody's going. But at least it shows that it's not just an optimism thing for fans; it's an optimism thing from an analytics standpoint too.
Yeah. So with Nick, going to the league and the draft, a few months ago I saw his capital or his stock where they got him at right now is about 6th, 7th, 8th overall. Do you think with his performance in the tournament that it has gone down any, or maybe stayed the same or gone up, or what?
Yeah, I think the same thing happened with Moses Moody last year, or 2 years ago now, where he played well all regular season when he was healthy. Likewise, Nick. And then tournament came around and Moses Moody disappointed, as did Nick. And still, Moses Moody was in the top 10, I think. Might have been 11 overall. And he was never picked to go like inside the top 6. He was never that kind of guy. Nick was projected top 5 as soon as he was going into college. So here's what I think. I think Nick's stock maybe, just maybe, went down 3 spots max. Like max, absolute max. And the thing is, that doesn't mean, because we don't know the draft order yet. That doesn't mean, I mean, there could be a team that's just like really high on him. A couple teams, few teams that are just really high on him. Where if they pick in the top 5, they're going to get him. So there's a chance he goes, 5 or 4.
No
There's
doubt.
a chance he goes 7, 8, 9. I don't think he'd go as far as 10. And it's not a super talented draft class. There's a lot of talent in the top, probably 7 or 8 picks. But after that, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of depth in this class. This feels like a very top-heavy draft class. So I think the point is, just because you play bad in the tournament, just because you deal with an injury, it doesn't matter, because teams would, and this also goes with the debate of should he return to Arkansas for another year. Teams would much rather have Nick now, where he is now, at the young age of 19, as opposed to a year, maybe 2 years from now, when he's 21 and he's still being developed by college guys. They get him now, and maybe you consider him a raw prospect. I think he probably is. And he gets developed by the best trainers in the world and the best coaching staffs in the world. And so I think he has an NBA skill set. He can shoot. He can play make. He has tremendous IQ, off the charts. He knows where everybody is at all times, knows what to do in every situation. He is not strong. He is athletic to a degree. And he plays solid defense. Does that translate to the NBA level? Not sure, but he plays with a lot of intensity, and that will. So I think he's still a top 10 pick pretty easily. I don't see a world where he goes lower than 9. And maybe just drops a few spots. And how much of that is actually him being bad? How much of that is guys like Almond Thompson and obviously Wembanyama is going top, but Scoot Henderson, those guys just played extremely well this year for non-colleges. So it's just different. College much different than the NBA. That's why a lot of guys like Scoot Henderson and the Thompson brothers don't play in college, because they play in a style that's more similar to the NBA. It makes their game like pretty identifiable with how they'll play in the league.
Yeah.
So I think Nick Smith is fine, personally. I think he'll be great.
Yeah, I hope so. I think he will be too. We can go ahead and move on to the NBA portion of this episode. I'll go ahead and just kind of reiterate what we were saying about just these Hogs guys from earlier. A few days ago, or not too long ago, maybe a week ago, the Thunder and the Warriors played each other. I definitely tuned in. I know you saw at least a good amount of it. Moses Moody actually dunked on Jalen Williams. It was really cool to watch. Just 2 guys on each side, plus Isaiah Joe on the Thunder. That went to Arkansas and just playing against each other in the NBA and doing good against each other. And so I think Nick's going to have a bright future. I hope he does. I believe in him. But yeah, it's really nice seeing these guys play at this level now after seeing them play at the college level. Speaking of the Thunder, Sunday, man, that's what it all boils down to. It's either y'all or it's us.
Yeah, it's crazy that it ended up that way, because if you would have told me before the year it was going to come down to the Thunder and the Mavericks for the final spot in the play-in, I would have thought you were crazy. Yet, here we are.
Yeah, it's It's insane. After watching the Thunder tonight, they beat the Jazz in Utah. The only guy that the Jazz had that's even been relevant this entire season that played tonight was Kelly Olynyk. I don't know if he got his
Yeah,
triple double or not, but he did have a great game and did his best.
he
But
did
the Thunder
not.
won.
So close.
He was close. How
So
close?
close. Yeah. He had 16, 14, and 8.
8. Okay.
Yeah. But he had 7 turnovers. So the 8 assists pretty much mean nothing.
Goodness, 7
Chris
turnovers.
Chris Chris Dunn balled out.
Yeah, I did see
And
that.
Abaji shot pretty poorly, but he's a rookie, so whatever.
SGA had a little low scoring night tonight.
Yeah, man, 22 is probably his lowest of the year.
I mean, it's close, bro.
That's saying something about him. I'm looking at this box score from today. It's so interesting, especially since this is like towards the end of the year. You had Arkansas Jalen Williams go for 11, 6, 2 steals, 2 assists and a steal. And then J Dub, who's one of the best rookies in the league, probably second best behind Banchero, depending on who you ask. Only had 9 points tonight. Only shot 10 shots. SGA, 22 points. I mean, Giddey had 17, which is standard for him, but the fact that he was the second leading scorer on the team with 17, it's usually not like that. Dort only hit 1 shot tonight. Had 5 points.
Yeah,
Good
that's
old
crazy.
Dort.
Maybe he
And
had.
it was Aaron Wiggins off the bench playing 28 minutes, scoring 15 points on 5 of 9 shooting.
That definitely
It's just
helped.
such an interesting team. Saric 14, 10, 2 blocks, probably one of the better performers of the game. But man, let me tell you, it's going to be interesting to see what happens towards the end of this regular season, and I'm excited to see because it was a few weeks before All-Star break when I knew that we were out of tank mode and we were at the point where we were saying, how good can we be right now? And can we get this team figured out now and see who we can add to it? And we have draft picks upon draft picks upon draft picks. So I'm excited about the future of my team, for sure. A lot to look forward to.
Future does look bright for the Thunder. For the Mavericks now, since signing Kyrie, the Mavericks were 4th and 5th in the West, and now they are 11th.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to put blame on a single guy. You can't put the blame on Kyrie. It's not his fault.
It's not his fault. No.
It's such a tough situation. He's playing. I mean, he's played next to a superstar before, but each superstar is different. You got to get used to him. It's especially with a guy who has never ever played with anyone on that level that Kyrie is. He's played with Porzingis. That's probably the best player that he's played beside. Maybe Jalen Brunson. Hell, Jalen Brunson is looking like a superstar this year.
Now it's easy to say it probably was Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. That Brunson, when he was on the Mavericks, he was never, art. When he was on the Mavericks, probably Porzingis was probably better on the Mavericks, you'd say. But now Brunson's probably the better basketball player, just because Brunson played off the bench.
Yeah.
And so
I think Brunson ended up better than Porzingis,
yeah.
like at the end of the year. But yeah, for as far as duration, Porzingis.
Yeah.
Was better.
Luka, he's never played beside anyone of Kyrie's level. And Kyrie has never played beside anyone that is on Luka's how good Luka is, but Luka's never he hasn't done that himself. Kyrie's played with KD. KD's played with other superstars though. So that's not too tough to kind of get adjusted with. I feel like if with Luka, who has never had experience with someone just as good as him, beside him. So I'd love to see
when you say never, when you say never, it really is never.
Yeah.
He played professional basketball since he's 15 years old,
Yeah.
and he's been the best player on the court his entire career.
Except for that one bullcrap year he played with Dirk, I guess, but I mean that doesn't really count.
Right.
But yeah,
No.
100%.
No, it didn't. I mean, it's easy to say a guy like him needs a superstar next to him. Then you realize that he legitimately, like you said, great point, has never seen a guy
Yeah.
like that play with him when he was in Slovenia. Never happened. Never had a teammate that was that good. He was always just the guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so this is his first time not being the guy. And it didn't happen in an off season. It happened in the middle of a season.
Yeah.
When you have a whole off season to get adjusted to somebody, it's different. When you have no time at all to get adjusted to it, you just got to figure it out as it goes. Because they lose out on Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah.
I forget who else is in that trade, but like important key roles
Yeah.
on their team.
It's
So
yeah.
it things when you do it, it doesn't really matter who it is. When you do a midseason huge like team altering trade, things are bound to fall apart at some point.
Yeah.
Things can also just as easily pick up again.
Yeah.
But especially with the Kyrie drama that happened, it took a little bit longer to actually get him on the court and like actually in the system. So just a strange year for them. I think if the team were to stay the exact same next year, it won't. But if just in a hypothetical situation, if it did, they would win much more. They might probably be a 50-win team. But honestly, they'd probably be a 50-win team.
Yeah.
It's just they've had no time to figure it out, and you can't really adjust to having, especially two guards
Yeah.
who are ball dominant like that. It's tough.
Yeah. And the main thing is, Luke and Kyrie, their offensive games are just they're top notch, So they could go out there and compete with the best team in the NBA any given day. But
They could win a 7-game series.
yeah. But the thing it boils down to at this point is, like you said, just the in-season trade and the chemistry and defense, like all the little things, on defense, really, switching and chemistry, like talking, all of that stuff. You need to work on that over the offseason, and with adding someone of Kyrie's caliber, it really makes it tough to adjust to that on both sides of the ball, offense and defensively.
It boils down to the details. LeBron always said every time he gets a new teammate, he practices with them over and over again. He wants to know where your shooter's pocket is.
Yeah.
He wants to know where you want it goes down to the details. He wants to know where you want the ball when he passes it to you. He wants to know in what spot are you most comfortable in. And you can learn those details in practice and just go out there in a game and try. But when you have an entire offseason to figure that stuff out, you just get comfortable. When you don't have the pressure of trying to figure it out quickly and going into a game, it's so much easier. So if they were to retain Kyrie next year, which is possible because I don't know really who's in the market for him. I don't think the Lakers are next year.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who would. So if they do retain him, I think they're a 50-win team. I do.
Yeah, I personally think they do. I think especially if if he's happy, he's going to stay. That's all he cares about at this point is just playing where he wants and where he wants to be, where he's happy at. And I feel like the group of guys he's with right now, I think he enjoys them. I know he has a great relationship with Theo Pinson off the court. Obviously Theo Pinson doesn't play too much, but he has a great relationship with him. And so, I think hopefully, I hope he stays next year. But I think we need to get some guys out. I think I want to get rid of – I'm going to give a little breakdown real quick. I want Reggie Bullock gone. I want to send Tim Hardaway away. I want to send Dwight Powell somewhere, but I don't know who would take him. And he's one of those guys on the team that is just everyone likes him. So it's really hard to get rid of a piece like that. But I hope Christian
Dodo.
Yeah, that was our best defensive player. Sucks losing him.
Yep.
I hope Christian Wood, if he starts every game, I feel like that makes a huge difference for the team, having him to play off of Kyrie and Lucas passes. You can do pick and roll, pick and pop. He's the guy, and he can work through Luka and Kyrie. I think it would be amazing. Personally, that's what I would hope for. I'd hope to get rid of, those three guys that I just named. And develop Jaden Hardy a little bit. Sign a JaVale. He just past week he's been involved. They've been playing. Kids been playing him a bit more. He's been.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was against the Kings. We went to overtime, or I think it was the Kings.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was the Kings.
he played he came in the halfway mark in the third quarter and played that whole third quarter, the whole fourth quarter, and the entire 5 minutes overtime. So he just showed that he has the durability. He can do it. And so personally, I'd love to see him maybe even start a game. I mean, it'd be tough, but maybe with those minutes. But I mean, he just showed that he could do it. So I would love to see it. But
He's a gold medalist. Gold medalist JaVale McGee. Dude, I still can't believe he was on that team.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
But yeah, so either way, Thunder, Mavericks, whoever makes it. What do you think? So the Thunder, that'd be the 10. We don't know who's going to be the 7 yet. It could be the Pelicans.
Now I want to talk about that real quick. I want to talk about what I was telling you about earlier.
Okay.
That the 5 seed in the West right now is still not even clinched in the playoffs. The 5 seed in the West with 3 days left in the season is not even guaranteed to make the playoffs.
That's the Warriors. Are they 5 right now?
The 5 was the Clippers last I checked.
Okay. Let me go ahead and look. You want to take a look with me?
Warriors at 6. And maybe that has changed at this point. But today, before the slate of games, that was the case. With 3 days left in the regular season, the 5 seed wasn't even clinched for the playoffs. Is that still the case?
Yep.
Looks like it.
Yep. You see on the side, there's no colors beside the 5 seed Clippers. It's just gray on the side.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. It's just it doesn't happen.
And you look at the East, they've got.
Look at the East; they're all clinched.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's clinched. I think the only thing that's not is there's one team out of the play-in, or no, it's the Heat and the Nets are fighting to either get in the playoffs or get in the play-in. I think that's the only thing.
That's exactly right.
Otherwise,
that's it.
Yeah, that's just crazy. The difference in the East and the West.
Yeah.
All the competition is in the West.
Dude,
I still stand by the Warriors. The Warriors not losing a single 7-game series, maybe until the finals. That's what I think.
I think this might be the most exciting playoffs we've had in, I don't know, man. I mean, every team is good. It seems like every team has a chance.
And every team in the West has a different story this year, and it makes it so interesting. The Nuggets are the 1 seed. First time they've been fully healthy going into the playoffs with the MVP, maybe. Then you have 2 seed is in the West.
Grizzlies.
In the West. Grizzlies, who have dealt with Ja Morant off-court troubles. And a few injuries,
and Dillon Brooks,
a few guys, and just Dillon Brooks existing. The 3 seed in the West is Phoenix is 4, right?
Yep.
So who's 3?
It's Mr. Fox and Sabonis.
That's that. Kings. Kings are a young team who haven't made the playoffs in 26 years.
Crazy story for them, the 3 seed.
Yeah. Isn't it? And so all those guys, pretty much no one has playoff experience. 4 seed is the Suns, who have a brand new team, including Kevin Durant. Chris Paul, is he washed? He just hit 7 threes tonight. I don't know. And then the 5 seed is the Clippers, who have Paul George out with injury, Russell Westbrook resurging his career, Kawhi Leonard finally playing full minutes with a championship head coach. 6 seed Warriors just won a championship. They're a 6 seed. How? 7 seed is going to end up being somebody out of the pool. So who's there now? Do we know?
It's the Lakers right now, and with
Lakers.
The Lakers have been playing tremendous basketball.
Yeah.
Lakers,
LeBron, Anthony Davis is healthy. Roster turnaround. They've been bad all year.
Breakout.
Austin Reeves breakout. Crazy.
They've got
8
D'Lo.
seed.
D'Lo's been playing.
Yeah, D'Lo is part of the roster turnaround, and he's been playing really well. Who's the 8 seed right now after the Lakers? It is the Pelicans, who have been hurt all year.
Zion is expected to return soon.
And Zion is expected to return. Also, speaking of returning, forgot to mention Andrew Wiggins will play in the playoffs for the Warriors, who hasn't played with them in months. Zion returning. CJ McCollum's been healthy. Brandon Ingram's had some injury troubles this year, but he's going to be playing. That team's going to be healthy.
Yeah.
We don't know how that team's going to play. They were one of the best teams in the league to start the year. 9 seed
is Minnesota. Anthony Edwards, Cat, Gobert, like that. It's
all those guys have been out this year for some extended period of time. They're all three playing together for probably one of the only few times this entire year, right in time for the playoffs. They've played better. Can they play well together? It's a brand new team.
They've got Mike Conley,
and then you have the Mike Conley, and that's who they said they wanted. They said they wanted a veteran guard. 10 seed, Thunder. What the heck are they doing there? They shouldn't be there. Young team led by SGA, who's a top 5 scorer in the league. Everyone's young. Everyone's recently developed. Second-year head coach. They're 10 seed. Mavericks, roster turnaround, could get in the play-in. All of that just to say, if I went to the East right now, I could give you 3, maybe 4 incredible stories about those teams, about how they played this year, what the deal is with them. Every single team that I just named, I named all 11 teams that are in contention for the championship in the West. All 11 teams have a different, unique story, and none of them are the same. They're all different. Yeah, and that just doesn't happen in the NBA.
Yeah, the West is really like you said, each team they're different, and they could each win. I mean, the 11 seed, Kyrie and Luka, bro. It's Kyrie and Luka. You can't count them out. Yeah. The Thunder.
No, you can't.
The youngest team. The most.
It might be ever. It might be ever.
Yeah, and they got probably the best stamina in the league right now. I'd probably say with their young age. Probably one of the quickest. Probably one of the quickest teams. SGA has one of the best scorers in the league. You can't not count them out. You know, they all have a story. Nope. Then you got the East. We'll go over that real quick. Just Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, Cavs. Don't need to say anything else. What
those 4 teams are they're stock.
Yeah. What else is there?
I think those have been, other than the Cavs getting better this year, obviously. Yeah. Those teams have just been good lately.
The drop off, 4 to 5 in the West, and then in the East is crazy. The Cavs and Knicks. Come on, give me the Cavs and 5, bro. Come on.
Yeah, the Knicks have played really. The Knicks.
Jalen Brunson.
The Knicks have played really well.
Jalen Brunson.
The Knicks are so close to winning 50 games. They won't do it because they can't now. But the fact that the Knicks were that close to winning 50 games is crazy. They played really well lately.
They have, and the Nets. Macau's got to be that superstar if they want any chance this postseason. I think because they got to have. They're all. It's hard to say they have a superstar, but you got to. I feel like any team that goes that far has got to have a superstar, and Macau's got to turn up if they want a chance. I think.
Yeah, I think the Nets have been in that situation recently, and it didn't work out for them against the Sixers, or did it? I can't remember. But you're right. I think you need to have a dominant guy, and Mikal Bridges can't be that dominant guy yet. I don't think.
Yeah, well, only time will tell. I'm excited. Dinwiddie's played really well. He really has. He's almost averaging a double-double right now on assists. That's crazy.
Wow.
He's at 9.5 assists every night. Every night he plays, you're betting on over or under 9.5 if he's gonna get a double-double. That's what it's been recently. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's hard to think that how he's just taken over that role, and he's done well with it. They're the 6th seed over the Heat right now. Trying not to get in the play-in. That'd be pretty cool for that young team not to even make the play-in, but they get locked in the 6th seed.
Right.
But yeah, I'm super excited for this playoffs. I think it's going to be the most exciting one I've ever seen while I've been alive. And
it probably will be. But the crazy part is, it could end up being one of the most exciting playoffs, and then the end result could still be the same championship from last year.
Yeah.
Like, it could really do that, and it would still be exciting.
Yeah, for real. I mean, each series is going to be amazing, I think. I mean, especially in the West. There's not going to be one bad series in the West, bro. There's not. I think every series in the West will... There's no way any team gets swept in the West this postseason. There's no chance.
I think I would put good money on the first round having no sweeps.
There's just no chance, right? I don't think so.
Yeah. I think any team can win one game against any team.
Yeah. Before we close this episode off, I want to say one more thing about the Mavericks. You know, if the Thunder happen to lose this Sunday and the Mavericks win out and they get in, you know, that mean that they would be the 10 seed, and if they won the play-in, they'd be playing the 1 seed. They'd be playing the Nuggets, right? I feel like if in a 7-game series with the Nuggets, bro, if Kyrie and Luka can get it clicking, I mean, I think we could win. I really do. I don't think y'all can win in a 7-game series against the Nuggets.
I think you're right in saying that the Mavericks have a better chance of doing it. I just don't think the Nuggets are that good.
Yeah.
I think they're a regular season team, but there's no telling. I think the Mavericks have a much better chance of doing it. And honestly, it might be a thing where if the Nuggets and Mavericks end up playing, where the Nuggets are favored in the first 2 games, Dallas beats them in both, and then suddenly the 8 seed is favored in the next 2 games. Yeah. That could be one of those things.
It would be, I mean, personally, I'd love it. But yeah, hey, before we go, the Thunder, best team in the NBA for the future, at least, like the next 5 years, 10 years. I mean, no doubt. I mean, it's not even close. Maybe the Magic are up there, but definitely the Thunder have it. I mean, just, you know that. You know.
We got some scouts down at the middle schools already scouting up the talent for the future. I'm really excited. Really excited for what the future holds.
To play with Chet once he gets healthy in 4 years.
Right, yeah. And Wemby. No, I'm just kidding. We can't get Wemby anymore.
Before we go, give a prediction on where he's going to land. There's no telling where he's going to go, but just throw a name out there. Throw a team. Why not? Before we close it out.
Victor Wembanyama will be playing next season for the... I think the Houston Rockets. I think they win the lottery.
So do you think him and Sengun, they build around them too, or?
I do think so.
Yeah.
I think for Wembanyama, it's not a positional fit kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like, it's Wembanyama, and he's projected so high and one of the best talents of all time coming into the league. So, yeah, I think I'll go to the Houston Rockets because I think they'll win, but. Each of the 4 lowest seeds have the same percentage chance of winning the lottery. So it could be the Pistons, could be the Magic. It'd be crazy if somehow he went to the Trailblazers. I'm keeping that in the back of my mind. And to have him at the tail end of Damian Lillard's career, man.
Yeah, he would actually maybe get a chance to go far in the playoffs and win.
Damian Lillard at the age of 42 in Wembanyama's prime will finally not run from the grind and have a chance to win the championship.
What if we get a championship of Wembanyama and Dame versus LeBron and Bronny?
I think that would make ESPN... It would make ESPN do some crazy things.
I mean, that would be insane. But,
that'd be the media's dream.
We'll wrap it up there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week on the Fant4sy podcast. Peace out.